level. This is why. All right, it's Kyle Wren back with another video, guys, and we want to talk about some things that we're hearing as a team out of the House settlement talks. Now, I know a lot of you guys are keeping up with it, but I thought this was a big one that you guys needed to hear, so we're going to get right into that really quickly. Remember, guys, hit that subscribe button. We want to get as many people out watching these videos as possible, trying to help you guys to stay up to date on what's going on in college baseball, all of that. Hit the like button, helps us with the algorithm, and then leave a comment. Let me know what you think. All right, we'd really appreciate it. If you are looking for help in the recruiting process, scan this QR code, go to our website, fill out the form. We'll meet with you, talk with you about what we do, and see if it's the right fit for you, and talk to you about why we've been the best recruiting agency around as far as getting kids to the best place where they're going to have a chance to play right away. All right, without further ado, guys, let's talk about the House settlement. So what we're hearing right now out of the House settlement talks. Obviously, it's going through kind of the approval process right now. You have people filing suit or filing kind of complaints about the settlement, why they think it shouldn't get approved. And so there's a lot of stuff coming out right now. So what we're hearing, and this comes from Pat Pinkman, our guy in the Mid-Atlantic, is that players on current rosters will be grandfathered in to the new roster limitations. That's going to be the way they move forward. Could be a ruling here very soon. Now, what does that mean? Well, it could turn into a situation like we saw with the COVID eligibility, right? If current players on the roster are grandfathered in, that means teams will be allowed to have more than 34 guys, except those guys that go over 34 have to be players that were on your previous roster. Right? We don't know exactly what the rules are going to be. How many guys over 34 are you going to be allowed to keep and be grandfathered in? Right? I can't imagine the NCAA is going to allow you to have 50 guys on your roster, but it looks like for the foreseeable future in the next couple of years, if that goes through, we're going to see bloated rosters again at the Division I level. Now, how is this going to impact high school players? Well, how did the COVID eligibility impact high school players? We all know. Recruiting went down, numbers went down, because if you have a guy, you have extra guys who get extra years of eligibility, and you can have a deeper roster because of it, you're going to keep those guys, right? The ability to have an extra 5 or 6 guys on your roster is going to outweigh getting one more talented guy in the high school recruiting class. And obviously with the portal and everything else, high school baseball recruiting is already being massively impacted. All right. So my question was, how many do we think we can have over 34? Still a lot of questions, but similar to when they tried to adjust for COVID/grad year guys. You could have 40 players, but only if 5 were on the previous year's roster and had eligibility due to COVID grad year. So those extra players on the roster are going to have to be guys from your previous year roster that also are the types of players that are grandfathered in. So they have to be in college baseball right now at the Division I level right now. They can't be brought in from another a JUCO Division II or whatever and get that grandfathered in clause. They have to be on your roster the previous year and be granted that extra year of eligibility because of the House settlement being grandfathered in. The power conferences, from what we're hearing, are against this. They don't want this to happen. They actually want they actually are not for, again, this is from sources, from a few articles, but they're not actually looking to take advantage of that. They don't want the current players to be grandfathered in, right? They want everything to change, be done with it right away. Because again, it's going to slow down that process of all the changes going through because you're going to have extra guys on your roster. Now, what we're seeing right now, again, last week, everyone thought, by Friday or maybe by this past Monday, we would have an idea of the approval or denying of the House settlement. Right now, still going on. There's still a lot of people kind of coming in and giving their reasons and filing their reasons why they think this House settlement should not be approved. I do think eventually it is going to get approved, but from another article, the judge has basically said they're not going to grant final approval without changes to the settlement. Now, how long is that going to take? Could that be weeks? Could that be months? Could it be a year? We don't know, right? Because the NCAA side of this has to concede to some of these changes that are being asked for, and the number one is the players that are on current rosters being grandfathered in, right? And we can all get behind that. I think as people that work in this industry, or as most of you guys as parents and players, you understand that the players that are on campus right now, they feel like, man, I committed here thinking we have 40 guys. I'm going to be able to, develop and continue to get better and hopefully crack the roster or starting lineup, maybe your sophomore or your junior year. But if the rules go through and you can only have 34, all of a sudden that those 6 guys that were, past that 34th roster spot, they're gone, right? They're gone. They're not going to be kept around. And so you feel like it makes sense to do what's right for the players that are currently on a roster, but we will not know until everything gets finalized. Again, it's still going on. Maybe it'll get finished and we'll have an idea of what has to happen at the end of this week. I will let you guys know as soon as we hear more. But again, I told you guys this last week. There was a not insignificant percentage chance a lot of people that are around this were saying this does not get approved. Right? It's not like it was a 5% chance. There was a 15, 20, 25% chance from the people around the settlement. A lot of the guys that have been covering it saying, man, there's a good chance or a decent chance this thing could get denied, right? And I think everyone believed that the majority percentage chance was that it got approved, but it's looking like now the judge is saying, all right, I think some of these complaints about the settlement are warranted. And I don't think she's going to be willing to stamp her approval on it unless some of these changes are implemented into the settlement. Again, we don't know how long that's going to take. We have no idea. So we could have a decision here in the next few days or week, or this thing could get kicked down the road and be months later, a year later. We have to wait and see. All right. So appreciate your guys' support. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think current players on a roster at the Division I level and at any level involved in the settlement should be grandfathered in and not count against the 34-man roster? Let me know what you guys think. Appreciate all the support you guys have put in the video.